reinforcement learning. There are different techniques through which we can make one learn several aspects. In this chapter, basically we would first be understanding what reinforcement is. Secondly, defining the contributing disciplines in which reinforcement is used. So, defining contributing disciplines. Thirdly, we would be discussing its applicability in organizational context. Then fourthly, describing social cognitive perspective. Learning about the human psychology framework. And lastly, explaining about the few effective learning strategies. So these are the 6 main topics that would be covered under this chapter, starting with the meaning of reinforcement. Reinforcement describes a relationship between behavior and consequence. Means by behaving in a particular way, what would be its output. So it shows relationship between behavior and consequence that follows the behavior. So this means there is a relationship between the behavior and its consequences. So this is basically understood and strategized under the theory of reinforcement. Now there are several important elements without which reinforcement would be incomplete. These basic elements include: 1. That there should be a well defined policy. Policy means it's simply learning agents way of behaving. Means the person whom is targeted to behave in a manner after he goes under the policy is to be observed. Secondly, that there should be a reward that can make favorable changes in the behavior. This we call it as goals of learning. Means what the person would be getting once he gets through the concept. Third, there has to be a value function. Means while getting through the process of learning, the final output should lead to any kind of value addition in the existing knowledge base. And fourth is model of environment. Means in the learning process, the environment plays a very important role and affects the quality of learning. So these are the 4 main elements involved in the reinforcement process. These elements can be also be represented in a pictorial format, wherein on the top there is learning agent which is the internal state, means the current state of the learning agent before starting with the process. Now what comes in, what goes out. So in this process is the perception, how the person is perceived. Then second is action. This is output, because after the learning any change in action would be recorded under this aspect. And then is your finally reinforcement. Now to get a better understanding of what is the role of reinforcement in this diagram, so it is simply, first it is a relationship between S and A. So we can say that perception plus action leads to effective reinforcement. And in addition to this, something that keeps a control from outside is the environment, as stated before. So this was about the basic elements and how these put an impact on the reinforcement process. Now let's move to the several types of reinforcement that can be arranged depending on the level of audience. So a very general categorization involves two things. One is your primary reinforcement and another is your secondary reinforcement. Now the primary reinforcement is something which is commonly known as your unconditional reinforcement. This means that it do not require learning to work, such as basic day-to-day works like eating, sleeping. So all these come naturally. They do not require any condition to be fulfilled to arise. So these are your primary reinforcements. Then secondary is the exact opposite of those unconditional reinforcement, and that's why we call them as conditional reinforcement. Means certain conditions have to be applied to make them happen. So in this, the example is training a dog. Like you just can't train a dog naturally. You need certain techniques and tools to make this happen. And praise, you need to see some effective output to praise someone. So this means this depends on some particular condition, and while the other one was your primary reinforcement, which comes naturally even if no condition is satisfied. Another types of reinforcements include positive and negative reinforcement. Positive is something that brings an addition of something to bring response. Means like sometimes employees are said that there will be an increase in their salary if they perform better. So this is a kind of positive reinforcement. And negative means removing something to bring response. Now in this case, if they are said that some particular facility would be withdrawn if performance is not shown, then that is known as negative reinforcement. Now let's hear about the contributing disciplines that play a major role in reinforcement learning. Now there are many disciplines or fields of study wherein reinforcement plays a vital role. Some of the most common include general psychology, then experimental psychology, consumer psychology, educational psychology, anthropology, and political science. So, out of many, these are few important disciplines wherein reinforcement, may be of any type, play a very important role. Now, another important viewpoint of reinforcement that has played a very significant role in understanding and developing this theory is known as social cognitive perspective, wherein there are three main things: behavior affected by someone's personal factors and also environmental factors. So, we can say that these are very much interrelated in bringing. So, societal cognitive perspective means two main factors that lead an impact on someone's behavior are the personal factors like attitudes, personality and perceptions, and environmental factors means the person is born and brought up in which kind of environment. That also plays a very important role on the effectiveness of reinforcement methods. Now moving to the humanistic psychology framework. Means there is a set framework that is designed in a way that it brings positive impact on the human psychology. It means it basically emphasizes not on one factor but on an individual as a whole. Now, there are mainly 5 personality traits that are identified under this theory of every individual, which includes agreeableness, then conscientiousness, then your negative emotions, these are integral for every person, then extraversion, and finally openness. Now, there has to be a learning strategy that might be constant or different for two individuals, but its effectiveness has to be judged by the management. So, we can say that a learning strategy means any strategy basically starts with communication. Until and unless the core of the strategy is not communicated to those for whom it is intended, then the same would not lead to any positive result. So, to know which kind of strategy would work for which kind of individual, we need to know that there are different types of learners, and then only we can decide on the technique and the way of communication to be adopted. So, in general, there are 4 types of learners. One is your activist learners, then second, reflective learners, third, theorists, and fourthly, pragmatists. So, activists are those which involve without any kind of bias. Reflective are those who like to stand back means they are not an active participator. Theorists are those who adopt and integrate observation, and pragmatists are those who are very much keen on trying new concepts. So these are the basic classifications of learners, and according to them a strategy has to be designed to make it an effective reinforcement strategy.